ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरिः ओम् श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12, Birth of Emperor Parīkṣit. Sūta uvaca अश्वत्थामनोपश्रुतेन ब्रह्मशिष्णोर्तो तेजसा उत्तराया हतो गर्भ ईशेनाजीवित पुनः. The sage Saunaka said, the womb of Uttara, mother of Maharaj Parikshit, was spoiled by the dreadful and invincible Brahmastra weapon released by Ashwadhama. But Maharaj Parikshit was saved by the Supreme Lord. तस्य जन्म महाबुद्धेः कर्माणि न महात्मनः निधनं च यथैवासीत् स प्रेत्य गतवान् यथा. How was the great Emperor Parikshit, who was a highly intelligent and great devotee, born in that womb? How did his death take place, and what did he achieve after his death? तदिदं श्रोतुम् इच्छामो गदितुं यदि मन्यसे ब्रूहि न ब्रूहि नः श्रद्धदानानां यस्य ज्ञानम् अदक्षुकः. We all respectfully want to hear about him, Maharaj Parikshit, to whom Sukadeva Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge. Please speak on this matter. Suta uvacha अपीपलद्धर्मराजः कृत्वाद् राज्ययन् प्रजाः निःस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यः कृष्णपादानुसेवया. Suta Goswami said, Emperor Yudhishthira administered generously to everyone during his reign. He was exactly like his father. He had no personal ambition and was freed from all sorts of sense gratification because of his continuous service unto the lotus feet of the Lord Shri Krishna. Sampada Kritavo Loka Mahishi Bhrataro Mahi Jambudvipadipathyam cha Yashascha Tridivan Gatam. News even reached the celestial planets about Maharaj Yudhishthira's worldly possessions, the sacrifices by which he would attain a better destination, his queen, his stalwart brothers, his extensive land, his sovereignty over the planet Earth, his fame, etc. Kinte kama sura spara mukunda manasodvijaha ajit adhijahur mudam ragnah shuditasya yatetare. O Brahmanas, the opulence of the king was so enchanting that the denizens of heaven aspired for it. But because he was absorbed in the service of the Lord, nothing could satisfy him except the Lord's service. Matur garbhagato viraha sa tada bhrugu nandanam dadarsha purusham kanchid kachit dahyamano tejasa. O son of Bhrigu, Shaunaka, when the child Parikshit, the great fighter, was in the womb of his mother Uttara and was suffering from the burning heat of the Brahmastra thrown by Ashwathama, he could observe the Supreme Lord coming to him. अंगुष्टमात्रम् अमलं स्फुरत्पुरता मौलिनम् अपीव्य दर्शनं श्यामं तडित् वाससम् अच्युतम्. He, the Lord, was only thumb high, but he was all transcendental. He had a very beautiful blackish infallible body, and he wore a dress of lightning yellow and a helmet of blazing gold. Thus he was seen by the child. श्रीमद्दीर्घचतुर्बाहुं तप्तकाञ्चन कुण्डलं क्षतजाक्षं गदापाणिम् आत्मनः सर्वतो दिशं परिभ्रमन्तम् उल्काभान् Brahmayantam Gadam Mohoho. The Lord was enriched with 4 hands, earrings of molten gold, and eyes blood red with fury. As he loitered about, his club constantly encircled him like a shooting star. Astra Swagada Niharam iva gopatihi vidamantam sannikarshe paryakshata ka iti asau. The Lord was thus engaged in vanquishing the radiation of the Brahmastra, just as the sun evaporates a drop of dew. He was observed by the child who thought about who he was. विधूयत अमेयात्मा भगवान् धर्मगुप्विभुः मिषतो दशमासयस्य तत्रैवान्तरददे हरिः. While thus being observed by the child, the Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, the super soul of everyone and the protector of the righteous, who stretches in all directions and who is unlimited by time and space, disappeared at once. ततः सर्वगुणदर्के सानुकूल ग्रहोदये जज्ञेवंशधरः पाण्डोर्भूया पाण्डुरिवौजसा. Thereupon, when all the good signs of zodiac gradually evolved, the heir appeared of Pandu, who would be exactly like him in prowess, took birth. तस्य प्रीत मना राजा विप्रैर्दौम्य कृपादिभिः जातकं कारयामास वाचयित्वा च मंगलम. King Yudhishthira, who was very satisfied with the birth of Maharaj Parikshit, had the purificatory process of his birth performed. Learned Brahmanas, headed by Daumya and Kripa, recited auspicious hymns. हिरण्यं गां महीं ग्रामान् हस्ति अश्वान् नृपतिर्वरान् प्रादात् स्वर्णं च विप्रेभ्यः प्रजातीर्थे स तीर्थवत्. Upon the birth of a son, the king, who knew how, where, and when charity should be given, gave gold, land, villages, elephants, horses, and good food grains to the Brahmanas. तमूचुर ब्राह्मणस्तुष्टा राजानं प्रश- प्रश्रयान्वितम् एष हि अस्मिन् प्रजातन्तौ पुरूणां पौरवर्षभा. The learned Brahmanas, who were very satisfied with the charities of the king, addressed him as the chief amongst the Purus and informed him that his son was certainly in the line of descent from the Purus. दैवेनाप्रतिघातेन शुक्ले संस्थाम् उपेयुषि रातो वो अनुग्रहार्ताय विष्णुना प्रभविष्णवे विष्णुना. The Brahmana said, this spotless son has been restored by the all powerful and all pervasive Lord Vishnu, the personate of Godhead, in order to oblige you. He was saved when he was doomed to be destroyed by the irresistible supernatural weapon. Tasman namna Vishnurata iti loke bhavishyati na sandeho mahabhagavato mahan. For this reason, this child will be known in the world as one who is protected by the personhood of Godhead. Oh, most fortunate one, there is no doubt that this child will become a first class devotee and will be qualified with all good qualities. Shri Rajo Vacha Api Esha Vamsyan Rajarsin Punyashlokan Mahatmanaham Anuvartita Svid Yashasa Sadhuvadena Sattamaham. The good king Yudhishthira inquired, O great souls, will he become as saintly a king, as pious in his very name, and as famous and glorified in his achievements as others who appeared in this great royal family? ब्राह्मणोवाच पार्थ प्रजापिता साक्षात् इक्ष्वाकुर् इव मानवः ब्रह्मण्यसत्यसन्धश्च रामो दाशरथिर्यथा. The learned Brahmana said, O son of Pritha, this child shall be exactly like King Ikshvaku, son of Manu, in maintaining all those who are born. And as for following the Brahmanical principles, especially in being true to his promise, he shall be exactly like Rama, the personality of Godhead, the son of Maharaj Dasharatha. Esha data Sharanyascha Yatahi Aushi Nara Shibihi Yasho Vitanita Swanam Daushyantir Iva Yajvanam. This child will be a munificent donor of charity and protector of the surrendered, like the famous king Shibi of the Ushinara country. And he will expand the name and fame of his family like Bharata, the son of Maharaj Dushyanta. Dhanvinam Agranir Esha Tulyas Junayor Dvayo Hutasva Hutasa Iva Durdarsha Samudra Iva Dustaraha. Among great bowmen, this child will be as good as Arjuna. He will be as irresistible as fire and as unsurpassable as the ocean. Mrugendra eva Vikranto Nishevyo Himavaniva Titikshur Vasudeva So Sahishnu Pitara Iva. This child will be as strong as a lion and as worthy as shelter as the Himalaya mountains. He will be forbearing like the earth and as tolerant as his parents. Pitamaha samah samye prasade girisopamah ashraya sarva bhutanam yatha devo ramar This child will be like his grandfather Yudhishthira or Brahma in equanimity of mind. He will be munificent like the lord of the Kailash hill, Shiva, and he will be the resort of everyone, like the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana, who is even the shelter of Goddess of Fortune. Sarva Sadguna Mahatmye Esha Krishna Anuvritaha Rantideva Ivodaro Yayatir Iva Dharmikaha. This child will be almost as good as Lord Krishna by following in his footsteps. In magnanimity, he will become great as King Ranti Deva, and in religion, he will be like Maharaj Yayati. Drityabali samah Krishne Prahrada iva saha graha ahar taiso sva medhanam vruddhanam paryupasakaha. This child will be like Bali Maharaj in patience, a staunch devotee of Lord Krishna like Prahlad Maharaj, a performer of many Ashwamedha horse sacrifices, and a follower of the old and experienced men. Rajarshinam Janayita Shasta Chotpata Gaminam Nigrahita Kaleryesha Bhuvo Dharmasya Karanat. This child will be the father of kings who will be like sages. For world peace and for the sake of religion, he will be the chastiser of upstarts and the quarrelsome. Takshakad atmano mrityum dvija putropasarjitat prapatyata upashrutya muktasanga padam harehe. After hearing about his death, which will be caused by the bite of a snake bird sent by a son of a Brahmana, he will get himself freed from all material attachment and surrender unto the personality of Godhead, taking shelter of him. Jignasitatma yataryo muner vyasa suta asau hitvedam nrupa gangayam yasyati addha kuto bhayam. After inquiring about proper self-knowledge from the son of Vyasadeva, who will be a great philosopher, he will renounce all material attachment and achieve a life of fearlessness. इति राज्ञा उपादिश्य विप्रा जातककोविदाः लब्धापचितयः सर्वे प्रतिजग्मुः स्वकान् गृहान्. Thus, those who were expert in astrological knowledge and in performance of the birth ceremony instructed King Yudhishthira about the future history of his child. Then, being sumptuously remunerated, they all returned to their respective homes. स एष लोके विख्यातः परीक्षित इति यत् प्रभुः पूर्वं दृष्टम् अनुध्यानयम् Pariksheta Nareshvaiha. So his son would become famous in the world as Parikshit, examiner, because he would come to examine all human beings in his search after that personality whom he saw before his birth. Thus he would come to constantly contemplate him. स राजपुत्रो विवृद्धे आशु शुक्ला इवोदुपः आपूर्यमानः पितृभिः काष्ठाभिरिव स अन्वय अन्वहम्. As the moon in its waxing fortnight develops day after day, so the royal prince Parikshit very soon developed luxuriantly under the care and full facilities of his guardian grandfathers. यक्षमानो स्वमेधेन जातिद्रोहो जिहासया राजा लब्धा धनोदध्यो नान्यत्र करदण्डयो. Just at this time, King Yudhishthira was considering performing a horse sacrifice to get freed from sins incurred from fighting with kinsmen. But he became anxious to get some wealth, for there were no surplus funds outside of fines and tax collection. तद अभिप्रेयम आलक्ष्य भ्रातरोच्युत चोदिता धनम प्रहीनम आजहुरुर उदीच्यान दिशि भूरिशः. Understanding the hearty well wishes of the king, his brothers, as advised by the infallible Lord Krishna, collected sufficient riches from the north left by King Marutta. तेन संभृता संभारो धर्मपुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः वाजिमेधैः स्त्रीभिर्भीतो यज्ञैः समयजत् धरिम्. By those riches, the king could procure the ingredients for 3 horse sacrifices. Thus, the pious king Yudhishthira, who was very fearful after the battle of Kurukshetra, pleased Lord Hari, the personate of Godhead. आहूतो भगवान् राज्ञा याजयित्वा द्विजैर्नृपम् उवास कतिचिन्मासान् सुहृदां प्रियकाम्यया. Lord Sri Krishna, the personate of Godhead, being invited to the sacrifice by Maharaj Yudhishthira, saw it that they were performed by qualified twice born Brahmanas. After that, for the pleasure of relatives, the Lord remained a few months. ततो राज्ञाभ्यनुज्ञातः कृष्णया सह बन्धुभिः ययो द्वारवतीं ब्रह्मन् सार्जुनो यदुभिर्वृतः. O Saunaka, thereafter the Lord, having bade farewell to King Yudhishthira, Draupadi, and other relatives, started for the city of Dwaraka, accompanied by Arjuna and other members of Yadu dynasty. Thus ends the chapter 12, Birth of Emperor Parikshit, from the Canto 1, entitled The Birth of Emperor Parikshit. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Oh, I saw someone wrote some comments I didn't see. Sorry. Um, is everyone able to see the screen?
Yeah, they
Yes,
got.
Prabhu.
Okay. Sorry, I mean, I was seeing my own screen. I didn't check the messages. So this chapter is very nice. Why? Because we get the chance to hear the glories of a great devotee of the Lord. Yeah, if you see that Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, yeah, there are this Navavida Bhakti, 9 limbs of devotional services. In that, Parikshit Maharaj, yeah, is one of the 9 great personalities. And Parikshit Maharaj is known for hearing, yeah, Shravanam. Yeah, so and then we can see that he was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Hmm, and definitely he should be a very special soul, and this chapter helps us to understand that because Shaunaka Rishi inquires about Parikshit Maharaj, and Shaunaka Rishi, after being asked, Suta Goswami, Shaunaka Rishi is describing about what Suta Goswami said. He said the qualities of Yudhishthira for first glorified. He was telling that he is best in class with administration, as good as like his father, um, Prithvad. Pitravad. So this is very important that when we are um, imbibing responsibility. Yeah, it's not a small or a casual thing. And how can we actually do justice is by seeing how our elders have fulfilled those duties successfully. So, and then Yudhishthir Maharaj was very competent. He understood all the signs of how to rule from Vidura, hmm, his uncle, and then um, was free of personal desires, and then due to his continuous service unto Krishna, he was always well established in bhakti, whatever activities he was doing. And then his opulence were mentioned, about his detachment is mentioned. Why? Because he was unattracted to anything, whatever was there, Sura, Sparha, um, but he was attracted to them because being absorbed in Lord's service. Mukunda Manaso. His mind is always absorbed in uh, Mukunda, in on the lotus feet of the Lord, who can give liberation. Then Lord Krishna, it goes further from verse 7 is, when Parikshit Maharaj was suffering from heat of Brahmastra in the womb of his mother, he could see the Supreme Lord. This is very, very nice. Yeah, we are very fortunate to be part of the Sanatan Dharma. Why? Because here we can see that there are so many places, references where the description of the Lord's form is described. And it's not just a poetic, yeah, it is a proof that here Parikshit Maharaj has seen the Lord in his heart, and he is able to see very clearly the form of the Lord when he was not, he was in the womb of Uttara, in his mother's womb, when he was there, when Brahmastra released by Ashwatthama was attacked, and because of that unbearable heat, when he was undergoing tremendous inconvenience at that time, the Lord appeared in his heart, and then he could see. When Parikshit was suffering from the heat of Brahmastra in the womb of his mother, he could see the Supreme Lord, Dadarsha Purusham, and the Lord's features, Angushtamatram Amalam, uh, which is that Amalam means spotless. Mala means, we know, it's impurity, contamination. Amalam means spotless. And what can be spotless? It is only spiritual, which is transcendental, which is not affected by the three modes. So the Lord is that appeared in his heart was a size of a thumb, and then he was appeared transcendent, Purata Maulinam, with a shining golden crown. Maulinam, Apivya Darshanam Syamam, beautifully blackish, Tadit Vasasam Achyutam, with clothes like lightning. Yeah, in that way he had the darshan of the Lord, and then he saw that the Lord had four hands, earrings of golden molten gold, and eyes blood red in fury. And as he wandered, his club constantly encircled him like a shooting star. So, so here we see that Lord was very disturbed to see his devotee. Why is Parikshit Maharaj a devotee? Why? Because he was son of Abhimanyu. He is the son of Abhimanyu and Uttara. Abhimanyu is a great devotee. Yeah, and who is none other than son of Arjuna. So, seeing the Lord vanquishing the radiation of Brahmastra just as the sun evaporates, Parikshit wondered who he was. He saw a form which had the four hands, which had this wonderful features, and but he was not sure who was he. While thus being observed by the child, the Lord, who is all pervading, in as super soul, the protector of righteousness, and who spreads in all directions, disappeared at once. That's it. So the Lord came, protected Parikshit Maharaj, yeah, and then after that, Parikshit was successfully saved, and he took birth when everything was favorable. As all favorable signs of zodiac gradually manifested, then Pandu's higher, what do you call this? Vamsha Uddharaka, the son who is coming in, so who can uplift the name and fame of the Vamsha, has appeared, and his qualities are as great as like Pandu in the strength. And then Yudhishthira had the Brahmanas such as Daumya and Kripa. They came for this auspicious recitation of the hymns, and then he called the Brahmanas, and this is very very customary, very very. um, mm, uh, usual process that when someone is born, then very qualified brahmanas are invited, and then they check the birth star and they prepare the janam kundali, and then they start predicting the greatness, either by observing the symbols or signs on the hands and the palms or the face or head, or also checking the zodiac constellations, and then they say this child will be known as Vishnu Rath. Vishnu Rath. So Parikshit Maharaj's name is not Parikshit. He is well known as Parikshit because whenever after he was born, and when he came to a age where he can understand things, so what he was doing is all the time he used to go and examine everyone to know whether is he the same person I have seen when I was in the womb. So that's why he is known as Parikshit Maharaj, but actually the given name is Vishnu Ratha. Why? Because he has been protected. Ratha means protection. Uh, Ratha, na? Ratha is protection, and Vishnu, all pervasive and all powerful. So the Lord, to oblige his dynasty, the Lord has present. This is what Brahmanas are saying. He is known to be as Vishnu Ratha, and he will protect your dynasty. He will be Tasman Namna Vishnurata iti loke bhavishyati. Na sandeho Mahabhagavato Mahan. And he will be a first class devotee with all good qualities. Hmm. So here, the Lord protected Maharaj Parikshit because he was a pure devotee and only surviving um, male descendant of Puru dynasty. Uh, the Lord always wants to continue the line of pious kings to rule the earth. So, and as a means of establishing the dharma. This is one. And then second thing is because this child is a devotee, so that's why Lord has personally taken care. Then Yudhishthir further inquired, will he become a king as saintly as and famous as others? And for that they start glorifying, yeah, he is so great, like he maintains all those who are born like a perfect king like Ikshvaku, who took the welfare of every being. Huh? And then in following the Brahminical principles and establishing, especially in being true to his promise, he will be like Lord Ramachandra, the son of Dasharatha. And then in terms of charity, he will become famous like King Shibi. And then in terms of spreading the name and fame of his family, he will be like Bharata, son of Dushyanta. And when it comes to his archery skills, he will be as good as Arjuna. And then he will be irresistible like fire. He will be unsurpassable like ocean. He will be strong like lion. He will be worthy of giving shelter like a tall Himalaya mountains. Uh, he will be forbearing. He can give so many fruits or benedictions like earth. He will be tolerant like parents. He will be in equanimity of mind. He will be like Yudhishthir or Brahma. He will be very munificent like Lord Shiva. Um, he will resort of everyone, like how Narayan gives protection even to Mother Lakshmi. So in the same way, Parikshit will give protection to everyone, all his citizens. And in terms of by following in the footsteps, he will be as good as Lord Krishna. In magnanimity, he will be like King Rantidev. In religion, like Yayati. And in patience, like Bali Maharaj, and devotion, like Prahalad Maharaj. So he is such a powerful personality having such great qualities. He will be the father of Rajarshis and the chastiser of upstarts and quarrelsome people of Kali. So they are also saying when the Kali is coming, and when it comes to chastising people who are miscreants, he will not step back. He will be Rajarshi. He is self-controlled. At the same time, he doesn't compromise when it comes to protecting. Thus, informing Mara Yudhishthir Brahmanas were sumptuously remunerated and departed. And here we see Srila Prabhupada distinguishes Vipra, Brahmana, and Vaishnava as follows. Vipras means guide society in fulfilling what are material necessities, what one should do, what one should not do. Uh, so Karma Kanda. Brahmanas are expert in transcendental knowledge, which is Jnana Kanda, and uh, Vaishnavas are perfect Brahmanas who perform bhakti to Lord Vishnu. So these are the distinguish distinction between Vipra, Brahmana, and Vaishnava. And Maharaj Parikshit, after this, the child will be called Parikshit because he constantly remembered the Lord, whom he saw in the womb and searched for amongst all men. The royal Prince Parikshit luxuriantly grew up under the care of his grandfathers, like the moon under the waxing fortnight. Um, Further, it says that after the battle of Kurukshetra, when the whole, yeah, when we can see when there is a war, yeah, when there is a war, what will happen? Whatever resources you may have in terms of your all assets, wealth, everything that will be diverted for supporting the battle. So when this Kurukshetra Yuddha happened, at that time, Hastinapur, whatever resources, everything were spent in mm, for the war. So when Maharaj wanted to perform Ashwamedha Yajna, he didn't had um, sufficient funds so that he can, yeah, when yajnas are performed, lot of dravya, it said, lot of assets or funds are required, and he didn't have. Thus, he considered how to procure wealth. So his brothers, they went and they arranged it. With those riches, Maharaj Yudhishthir performed three horse sacrifices and pleased Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, being invited to the sacrifices, saw it to that they were performed by qualified brahmanas. And after he saw this, witnessed, and after some time he stayed, then he went to Dwaraka. That's the overall summary. Quick walkthrough through this chapter. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments or thoughts? Any particular verse we want to go through purport? No, I can also see.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Mm-hmm.
one question. You mentioned about the Vipra Brahmana, no? So mainly like for Karam Kanda. So can Brahmana also lead the citizens to the Sahuja, like Mukti, this merging in the Brahma Jyoti, or they just deal only with this Karam Kand, like with the demigods worship? Um,
I sorry, I didn't follow your question. Can you say again?
you mentioned about the Vipra Brahmana, na?
Mm-hmm.
That they deal with the Karam Kanda and this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So can a Brahman also lead the citizens of the society to liberation, like this, like the Gyanis who merge into the Brahma Jyoti,
Are you asking about Vipras or are you asking about Brahmanas?
like Brahmanas, like
Yeah, the Brahmanas, who are self-control, yeah, who are practicing themselves the jnana, with the light of knowledge. They, what is this knowledge is Brahman, to understand the self. So through that, they themselves become more aloof from the material world. And when they have the students, yeah, because they also sometimes teachers in Gurukulas. Um, so whoever is becoming expert in the Vedas, yeah, that start from there. So if, I mean, if someone goes to a Gurukul, not all the Brahmanas become qualified to understand the Brahman and they are practicing this. So some, depending on their capacities, some may qualify themselves to be a priest in respective temples. Then there can be some who are into the acharya's position where they continue, yeah, so that they establish or they run the existing gurukulas as a teachers. And then there are also one who are advanced in understanding all this, and they want to lead a life where um, it's more that they want to acquire more jnana, and based on the strength of jnana they perform all their livelihood. Hmm? So this is the classic. Did I say three or two till now? One is the priests in the temple. One is the purohits who are doing the rituals. The third one is the acharyas in the schools, yeah, who teach us maybe Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda, like a specialized field. So this is what is we are talking about. Still, all are brahmanas and engaging in different kinds of services. Then comes the one who we here it's mentioned is about Vaishnava. Yeah, Vaishnava here we are saying whether he is a born Brahmana or not. Huh? Here we are talking about when we talk about Vipra and we talk about these Brahmanas, we are telling that they are um, of course they are born or not born, but they qualify themselves to be a Brahmanas and only to that level. Whereas a Vaishnava, uh, irrespective about his birth, yeah, when he's taking to the process of bhakti, then he becomes all automatically a brahmana, but he's not just interested in all the other three things that I've mentioned. He's more interested in whether he's doing that or this or that, how he is able to serve the Lord. So that is his prime goal in his um, actions, yeah, in his work. Yeah, Madrasa Prabhu, or
Yes, thank you, Babaji. Yeah. Yeah. So
I mean,
different
I don't
category.
know if that covered your question, but hmm,
No, no, that was fine.
hmm,
Mostly we see the Brahmanas only dealing with yeah, these rituals but the Brahmanas can
yeah,
also lead like
yeah.
liberation. Yeah.
Um, I'm just saying it is the word Vipra mentioned here is significant. There is a little difference between Vipra and Brahmanas. Vipras are those who are expert in karma kanda or fruitive activities, guiding the society towards fulfilling the material necessities of life, whereas the Brahmanas are expert in spiritual knowledge of transcendence. This department of knowledge is called Jnana Kanda. And above this, there is Upasana Kanda. The culmination of Upasana Kanda is the devotional service of Lord Vishnu. And when Brahmanas achieve perfection, they are called Vaishnavas. Yeah. So this is in the purport 29.
Yes, Babaji. Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, I'm just saying quickly if there is something extra we can fix. No, I mean, yeah, we covered main thing.